Welcome to Wild Rivers Film Radio, the official podcast of the Wild Rivers Film Festival, right here on KCIW 100.7 FM. I'm your host, Bev Juday, and joining me today as co-host is Rick McNamer. We're talking this morning with Sarah McNair-Landry, and her film, A Baffin Vacation, Love on Ice, is an official selection of the Wild Rivers Film Festival this year.
And this is Rick. Before we dive in, we'd like to thank the Wild Rivers Film Festival's 2025 presenting sponsor, the Tolowa Dene Nation, whose generous support makes both our festival and our summer film workshop possible. We also thank Oregon's Wild Rivers Coast, Sutter Coast Hospital, and the City of Brookings. To learn more about supporting independent film on the Wild Rivers Coast, visit wildriversfilmfestival.com.
If you're just discovering us, welcome. The Wild Rivers Film Festival is a 4-day celebration of independent, regional, and international film. We screen dozens of films across multiple venues with filmmaker Q&As, panels, and special events that connect the audience directly with the artist behind the work. This year's festival will run August 13 through 16, and passes are on sale right now. Sarah, welcome to the Wild Rivers Film Radio. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
To start us off, could you introduce yourself to our listeners? Tell us a bit about your background, both as an adventurer and as a filmmaker.
Yeah, of course. My name's Sarah, and I grew up on Baffin Island in the Canadian Arctic, and it's still home. And I basically just love being outside. I started doing expeditions at a pretty young age and completely fell in love with it. So anytime I get time off, I kind of disappear for a month or 2 or 3, either in the Canadian Arctic or Greenland or Antarctica.
And we were lucky enough to see that film, and man, it was just absolutely wonderful. So what drew you to telling this particular story, and how did Baffin Island Vacation, Love on Ice come to be?
It was always a dream of ours to go to this certain area in Baffin. And for those who don't know, Baffin is the 5th largest island in the world. So even though it's home, there's so many areas that are still completely unknown. And I haven't really gotten a chance to go to. And this was one of them. And myself and my partner, Eric Boomer, who's also a filmmaker and an athlete in the film, had really wanted to get into this area in the summertime. So we decided to load up with 70 days of food and film equipment and camera equipment and set off and spend basically the entire summer exploring this area.
That was one of our questions, was how long did that take you? Because you visited so many incredible looking sites, and from raging water to crystal clear ice. We just wondered, how long were you there? So you were there the entire summer?
We were, and that's a bit about the tricky thing with approaching this area in the summer, is that in the film we traveled in on skis and kite skis when the sea ice was still frozen. But then as soon as the sea ice started breaking up, it becomes very difficult to travel. So you can't ski on the ice anymore, but you also can't kayak because there's so many ice chunks and it's kind of all blocked up and broken up. So in some ways we knew we were trying to get in as late as we could in the season while we could still ski. And then we knew we were kind of getting ourselves stuck in there for the summer.
Wow. And
go ahead. Well, I was going to say, and that summer up there isn't like our summer down here. It's just a couple of months, I'm guessing. Well, you said 70 days is what it took you.
Yeah, it's pretty short. We went in late June and then we came out mid-August-ish.
And did you pack in all your food at the very beginning, or did you have food drops? How did you do that?
We packed most of our stuff in. Our climbing gear was very heavy. It's a lot of metal. And we had some friends that were heading into the area to go fishing, so they were able to bring some of our heavier climbing gear and some food in. But apart from that, we carried everything in.
Wow.
So at what point did you realize this journey wasn't just an expedition, but a film worth sharing with a wider audience? And boy, is it worth sharing with a wider audience. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. We went into it knowing we wanted to make a film, and with an idea of the film, which is always hard because you don't really know how the expedition is going to shape out and what's the main story going to be. But we definitely went in with camera gear and with the idea that we wanted to come out of it with a film.
That's so cool. One of the things that struck us was that it looked isolated, fantastic, but isolated. And we wondered what your biggest challenges were when you were filming in such extreme conditions.
It was very isolated. We saw 0 people the entire time, which was nice, which is what we wanted.
Yeah.
But I think our biggest challenges, especially being on expedition, is the weight of the camera gear. It's quite heavy, especially for, the kayaking section where you're hauling the kayaks on your shoulders. So we really had to think about what exactly we wanted and pare back. And also battery power. So we had a small solar system, but all our batteries were dependent on charging on solar. So we had very limited power as well, which really makes you think, especially the drone. The drone uses so much power. We really had to plan our shots and think about is this going to be a key shot or an important moment to film? Which I think is good in some ways because it makes you think about it a little bit more instead of filming everything and over filming.
Yeah, that was something else I wondered about. Like when you guys are shooting down these rapids, did you think, hey, it looked good? Or what if it didn't look good? Did you make a decision right then and there? I'm going to reshoot that. Let's do it again.
Some of the rapids, we didn't always have the choice to do again, especially some of the bigger ones. Because, sometimes it's there's a level of danger in them too, and you might not want to repeat them a second time. But so a lot of times it was a one-shot kind of opportunity, and we would just we had a pretty good system. I would get the drone in the air, and then a film camera on the tripod, and then a GoPro on a kayak, and then oftentimes I'd set up a still camera on a quick 1-second kind of snapshot. So then you could capture, hopefully, you capture the moment somehow.
Sounds very cool.
But it was very stressful.
I was wondering about that too.
Big drops.
Did you forget ever that you were filming, or were you always conscious of, I'm telling a story here?
We were conscious because we went in to the expedition with the goal of doing it. It was something that we thought about and we talked about. And, it's a 70-day expedition, so a lot of the combos was like, ooh, would this make a good story? Is it worth filming or is it not worth filming? So it's definitely something that was on our mind a lot. But then, other days too, like when we're hiking with big loads and shuttling gear to the base of the climb, or, you only need so many of those shots, and then you can kind of put the camera down and just zone out and put your head down and do the hard work.
Yeah. Did you have a particular moment that stands out where filming had to take a backseat to maybe safety or survival?
Yeah, there's a couple moments, and that's why they're not in the film too, because they weren't, we just didn't film them. But there was definitely a moment when we were trying to get through the sea ice, and we started, and there's still a lot of broken up ice, and it was just really tricky. You can't really paddle, and then you're trying to paddle and hop across, and all the ice started pushing up towards these cliffs. The wind just started pushing it, and we're kind of getting pushed with the ice. And it was fine. We were able to just work really hard and move fast and get out of there. But that was a moment that we didn't. We captured a little bit of it, but not enough to really create a story that made it into the final film.
Mm-hmm.
And with all that equipment that you guys had, and the kayaking wasn't like kayaking down one of our rivers here. It looked like Niagara Falls to me.
It did.
Did you lose any equipment? I can only imagine you must have. Or were you able to get through it all with all your equipment that you originally had?
That's a good question. I actually don't think we lost any equipment, which is surprising because usually you lose a GoPro off the front of a kayak or something. But I don't believe we did lose anything on this one.
Wow, that's pretty amazing from the shots that we saw.
Did the environment influence the emotional tone of the film at all?
Perhaps, yes. It's such a majestic place. I definitely think it's a character in the film, the place, because it's just so stunning and incredible. And we definitely wanted to create a tone that was fun and hopefully make it funny too.
And it certainly showed not only as majestic as what it was, dangerous looking, but it was absolutely beautiful.
It was. And you guys looked like you were having fun and enjoying each other. Just, I don't know, there's an early shot you put in there of yourself as a child, and there's a precociousness about your face, and it played through the rest of the film. Your personality is a wonderful, dynamic personality.
Yes, that. And also, go ahead. Please, go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it.
Well, I was just going to say, and also, you were born and raised on Baffin Island, you said. So maybe very early in your life, you must have got that wanderlust already to check out the beautiful place
Exactly.
where you live and grew up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And my parents were both polar guides and owned and operated a guiding company. So I grew up with a dog team, and they'd drag us out camping, and we're always outside, whether for fun or at an early age I started guiding as well. So it definitely taught me just to love the outdoors.
Well, it's funny you say drag. They started to drag you out, and then you end up wanting to go out and tackle it yourself, defying all the odds.
Yeah.
And so
I use the word drag because you know how it is when you're a kid. You don't always want to do things that your parents are doing.
Correct. But where I got drugged to wasn't the outdoors like you were drugged to.
Yeah, you were in a magical place.
Yes,
sure.
it was, or it is. So at its heart, this film is about partnership on and off the ice. How did your relationship factor into both the journey itself and the storytelling?
Our relationship becomes like one of the main themes in the film. It wasn't necessarily what we set out to do, but it's hard to ignore the fact that we're a couple and we're going out in these areas. And not only were we on the expedition together, but we're also filming the film together as well. And we actually had a good friend who did all the editing for the film. So he was the one that really was able to weave that story together.
Did you say you had a friend? He wasn't with you though. Was he with you too?
It was just the two of us.
Right.
No, it was just the two of us on the expedition, and we did all the filming.
Oh.
But then for the editing, we had a friend who edited it, which I think was really good. Sometimes you can be too, because we were not only the filmmakers, but also the characters in the film. I think it's good to have a third person and a different perspective come in and help craft the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there must have definitely been scenes that you felt like, oh, I don't know if I want to share that with everybody. And so it would be good to have that third party who says, no, we're going to leave it in because that's great footage. Or who says, yeah, I agree with you. Let's take that part out.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we get really attached to shots or scenes partly because we just put a lot of effort into filming them. You know, there's one that didn't make it and we're like, but it took us a half a day. But it just didn't belong. And then there's other moments where, you know, I have a funny look or a booger or whatever it is that I probably want to put into the film, but it made it in the final cut. So I think it's.
So what's it been like to share the film with audiences so far?
It's been really fun. I was able to go to the Band Film Festival when it premiered in Canada, and it's such a different experience when you're sitting in a theater and you get to hear everybody laugh, and it makes it really special.
You know, I have one question. You camped out. You were just camped out over there overnight at various places. Isn't that big polar? I think you mentioned polar bears briefly, but what about any kind of protection that you carried with you when you were camping out?
We did. We brought in multiple bear deterrents with us, and we also had a bear fence too, which is a bit of a tripwire fence, just to warn us if a bear came into camp, which we didn't set up often, but we had it as an option if we felt like we needed it. Okay,
because aren't they're pretty notoriously aggressive, from what I understand.
I would say they're very curious. They definitely like to come check you out.
Okay, so what's next for you? Are there more journeys, films, or stories on the horizons?
Yeah, hopefully more of all of them. We're just gearing up for a busy guiding season, and then hopefully this May. We have another adventure planned, and which will be both an adventure and another film project as well.
Well, I tell you, the one that we watched, it was just simply fantastic. Just loved watching that film. Really did.
Yeah, I can't wait to have the audiences see that.
You bet.
And we've got a special screening of it coming up. But before I get to that, I know people might want to jot that down. I'd like to know, is there something that you're planning to film anytime soon? Another journey, perhaps? Or a story that you're interested in telling?
There's so many stories. Hopefully this next one will be a little bit of a mix of adventure and some wildlife stuff as well, which I'm really excited about. I've been working more doing wildlife filming lately. So we're kind of hoping to blend a little bit of our two passions and create another fun Baffin Vacation style, but with a little bit more of the wildlife angle.
That would be cool.
That would be very
I did wonder that we didn't see a lot of wildlife, but you guys were so adventurous that was like a minor thing.
And is isolated as a place appears to be, I bet we would be amazed at how varied the wildlife is there.
Yeah, it really depends on the area we're in. We saw lots of seals, but a lot of the times, like the whole area we were climbing is just glaciers and moraine, and it's very, not very lush. So there's actually not a lot of wildlife kind of in that whole climbing area. But then again, along the river, we saw a lot more birds and wildlife there. So I would say it kind of varied depending on what area we were in.
we wondered, there was a distance shot, and we wondered about trees or grasses. So often the distance, was that like a moss type of thing, or was it shrubbery? It looked like there was some green.
It's
Yeah, like
it's all
lichen.
tundra up there, but some of the tundra and lichen can be quite green.
Okay.
Especially where it's lusher, kind of around the rivers and bodies of water.
Well, it was very cool. So I know that our audience might want to grab a pen for this, because I'm going to give you a date and location where we're going to show this film during the month of February. But as we begin to wrap up, A Baffin Vacation, Love on Ice is a beautiful, inspiring film. And it's been a pleasure talking with you, Sarah. Thank you for joining us on the Wild Rivers Film Radio. And again, for those of you who want to see this fantastic film, the film will screen as part of Wild Rivers Film Festival programming during the Brookings Second Saturday Art Walk on February 14th, Valentine's Day, so you could bring your sweetie and watch this. It would be very appropriate. From 3 to 6 p.m. at the Compass Rose Cafe. So come for some adventurous romance. And in closing here, I have some stuff to say. Do you have any last minute words you want to say to us, Sarah?
I just want to say thanks for having me. It was fun, and I really hope everybody enjoys the film.
Oh, I think they will.
Oh, that's kind of a no-brainer, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
we were excited watching your film, and we were talking, and we were amazed at how brave you guys were at times, and we felt your excitement. So I have a feeling that audiences are going to be fully engaged, just like we were when they watch it.
You bet. And one more thing, we have a little more time. You said safety. Were there any injuries at all during this outing that you had? I should say you and Eric. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to not include Eric. And were you prepared for anything?
We were prepared. We always carry a first aid kit and are both trained for first aid, and it's always in the back of our mind. We had a couple small injuries. I actually, halfway up the climb, I tried to catch the drone, and I chopped my finger up pretty badly in the propeller.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we had a rock fall that kind of clipped my shoulder on the climb. Again, it wasn't bad, but it was a reminder of how real and how scary things can get quickly out there.
Boy, I tell you. And you got through it, and you made it through to shoot another day. And I meant shoot a film.
Yes.
Another day. And we're grateful for that. It was just a wonderful, wonderful film. I can't give it enough accolades. Really had a good time.
And I have one more question we didn't ask you. At one point, it looked like you had rigged up like a sleeping harness when you were climbing. Did you guys sleep as you were climbing up that mountain? Like on the rock face?
Yeah, we did. We spent 5 nights on the side of the wall.
Wow.
Climbing. So we had a little porter ledge that kind of hangs off. We try to find a big ledge, so you could still cook, and we hung a little porter ledge off the side of the wall. And it was both of our first time ever really living on the side of the wall like that and camping on the side of the wall. So it was pretty exciting. But yeah, I slept in my harness every night.
Was that scary? Did you?
Just in case I rolled out.
Because I would worry that somehow tossing and turning, I would wiggle the thing loose and go crashing down.
Exactly. That's why I had a harness on, and I was clipped in separately. So I was backed up.
That's good. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for the conversation. It has been enlightening and fun, and I can't wait to see you over the summer when we actually get to meet you in person. That's it for this episode of the Wild Rivers Film Radio. To learn more about the festival, buy passes, volunteer, or explore sponsorship opportunities, visit wildriversfilmfestival.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes, and thank you very much, Sarah. What a great story. And we'd also like to thank the folks that make this interview possible. Recording was Michael Gorse. Sound mixing and editing, Mr. Tom Bozak. Producer, Sue Wright. And, of course, our guest, Sarah McNair-Landry. And your host, Bev Juday, along with me, Rick McNamer, KCIW 100.7 FM. Beautiful Brookings, Oregon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.